Hi everybody, this is Alchemist 2, and I recently read the book, The Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet, and this is written by Jamie Ford, and he happens to be half Chinese. And I think it's really auspicious and fortuitous that I heard of this book when I did, because this happens to be Asian Pacific Heritage Month. Who knew? Coincidence? I think not. But anyway, this book was inspired by a story that his father told him during the wake of Pearl Harbor. And I didn't know this, and I happen to be a World War II buff, but during that time, people who were Chinese, they had to wear buttons that said I am Chinese on them, because at this certain point of time in history, the Japanese were being rounded up and questioned and all that, and it wasn't a very good time to be Japanese at all, because they were considered our enemy since they had bombed Pearl Harbor. But this book is really touching, and it has really magnificent imagery, and it really bridges the gap between bitter and sweet, just like it says. And it's a love story, although at times there are a lot of obstacles that Henry has to overcome within the duration of the story itself. He falls in love with a Japanese girl named Keiko. Of course, this doesn't work out because Keiko is ordered by presidential decree to evacuate immediately. And at the time, this was very common. This wasn't something that just happened on a whim. I'm thinking that Roosevelt, I think it was mentioned in the book, yeah, that he decreed that. And I know that's accurate. It was a really fascinating book. I loved every moment of it, and the ending I thought was just perfect. It just leaves you wanting more, but it bridges the gap between the 1940s and then it goes into 1986 into the modern age with Henry and his son and his girlfriend, and the responsibility that he has to take upon. I'm not going to say what that is because it will reveal a plot point, but it's a very short book. It's about 281 pages long, and of course at the end there are a couple of pages of acknowledgments, and then there's a reader's guide, and it has a conversation with the author himself, telling what I just told you about what Jamie says about his father and the memories that he had about the war years. And if you are interested in World War II, particularly the Chinese experience with it or the Japanese experience, then I would definitely recommend this book. Although it is fiction, I'm pretty sure that a lot of the events that are recorded in the book have some hints of truth to them, because a lot of works of fiction do have that element to them, and it makes it all the more intriguing, I think. But this is a 4-star book, and I love it, and I'm definitely going to keep it. I'm not going to give this book away because I love it very much, and it's very close to my heart. So I highly recommend it. If you haven't read it, read it now. Especially for Asian Pacific Month. You just have to. Well, I'm not gonna tell you what you should and shouldn't do, but I think it just makes all the more sense if you would read this book for Asian Pacific Heritage Month, because it's just setting in with the theme of that, and I think it's a very edifying book as well.